Good morning, everybody. I am coming on here this morning because I wanted to talk about something that just kind of came to my mind as I'm waiting for an offer. Um, so I'm in my car in the parking lot, and I don't know if any of you all do this, but when I get here, I tend to try to not idle my car, and I'll just shut off the engine and wait till I get an offer, and then either drive over to the Spark pickup area or go into the store if I'm going to do a shop and deliver. That way, I can save fuel. And I did a little Google search, and it says it really doesn't harm your car to shut it off and then start it, but it actually does burn a lot of fuel to just sit and idle. So I'm sitting out here, and on my car thermostat, it says that it's 8 degrees outside. And so after I turn the car off, just like actually pretty quickly, like within like 60 seconds of turning my car off, the car is starting to already cool down rather quickly. So it just reminded me of a conversation that I was listening to on YouTube on Covenant Awakenings. And the guy was talking about how we pray and we have to walk by faith. You have to do things. You can't just sit there and I guess expect some sort of like divine intervention or something like that. You have to actually get up and do something. And it just made me think of a really sad situation. It was, I don't know if it was this calendar year, but within the last several weeks there was a big snowstorm, and a young lady was trapped in her car, and they showed where she had called her family, and they reached out to her family saying she had made videos and whatnot, where she was trapped in her car, and on the video the guy was saying, he wasn't really speaking about her, but it made me think of her when he's saying you need to get out of the car and walk and go somewhere to get help. And then that reminded me of another story of a man, an older man, who was trapped in the snow, and he ended up just coming up to some random lady's house, and she was on Facebook Live talking about this, how he was in this really poor condition health-wise, and that somebody needed to come help him, because she didn't have the means to take him to the hospital. She had kids at home, and it was in the middle of a blizzard. So with that gentleman, he some people ended up coming in some sort of like pickup truck or something, and they took him to the ER. He may have had some sort of like, I think he had frostbite, and maybe he had to have like the tips of his fingers amputated or something like that, but he lived. So as I'm sitting here, of course my car can start, and I have fuel and I have heat and things like that, and turning off my car wasn't my choice. But a thought came to mind, like, what if my car doesn't come back on, or what if I'm out and about and something happens? Of course I have my phone and whatnot, but in my car isn't winter prepped. I don't have the proper suggested items that you should have in your car in the winter. So that is something that I'm going to have to handle when I get home, because I just need to be prepared. As with everything, you just need to be prepared. And so that is something I want to think, basically just kind of put out there, my thoughts. If you're out here and you're doing deliveries or Lyft or whatever, and your car is your office, that is your workspace, definitely have your safety items on hand. You never know. It's best to not need it than to need it and not have it. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because that was just kind of on my mind in my heart this morning. So yeah, so that's just basically it. Just, make sure you're taking care of yourselves out here, preparing for this winter weather, because it's cold as far as temperature wise, but in terms of snow, there really isn't that much snow out here. But it could change in a moment, so I definitely want to be prepared for that. So when I get home, I can Google again, um, car preparations for the winter. Um, I know they say things like blanket and maybe like a bottle of water and jumper cables or whatever, stuff like that. So um, maybe I'll post again whatever I can come up with for my winter car kit. But yeah, it's just basically whatever I Google and just kind of throw on here. Um, so I do have water on hand, and I have like my hat and my gloves and things like that. But as far as other items, I do not have like flares and things like that. Well, not necessarily flares, but I don't have anything in here to help my car with the visibility factor if there's a whiteout or whatever. So yeah, let me know what you think about winter preparation, and if your car is prepared, and what you have in your car. Maybe there's something that I'm missing or forgetting. Um, but yeah, just let me know. I know kind of like it's kind of like a somber thought, and it's early too, so forgive me if I sound like I'm dragging. But yeah, definitely be sure that you are taking care of yourselves out here, and be prepared for this winter weather. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.